Yes, your mother told me that you have taken up a brand new study course entirely, computer graphics, which is a very excellent choice if I may say so myself. You will do very well in that field of work given your genius talent, my dear boy. Oh, how my ego rose through the roof. I actually blushed and turned to face away from Sebastian. I quickly recomposed myself. Yes, why thank you, I thought so too. Just then Sebastian looked at my grandfather clock. He got up off the sofa. I am most terribly sorry, my dear boy, but I have an important appointment to keep. Are you sure I may borrow this sketchbook of yours? Yes, by all means. That is so good of you, my dear boy, to let me borrow this. I shall of course return this to you on Monday, 4 o'clock. Will that be okay with you? Oh sure, that will be fine. I am so terribly sorry that I have to dash out on you like this, my dear boy. No, there is no need for you to apologize, Sebastian. I completely understand. Thank you. I knew you would. Oh, please do call your mother for me, my dear boy. She is terribly worried about you. Oh, certainly I shall, Sebastian. I will call her first on Monday after I come back here from Blakely College, I promise you. Thank you, and it was nice to meet you and see you again. Yes, I am truly grateful for you helping me to remember those forgotten memories. Oh, think nothing of it, my dear boy. Sebastian left as I opened the front door. He shook my hand and I his, and he was soon gone. I closed the door of my flat and I began to take up the book that I had borrowed from the library and began to study real hard. It was by no means easy to write and fill an entire essay book of such feminine mush and poppycock, but over the course of Saturday and Sunday I had at long last managed to fill in a whole essay book. I was sure that it would be more than enough to keep Miss Monroe from needing to see any of my other essay books. The weekend was soon over and I returned back to the feminist study class at Blakely College. I sat on the middle row of seats. This had become my permanent place, or so it seemed, and to my shock, but also to my equal surprise, Miss Monroe was wearing a very short pink and white lace dress. It was almost baby girl-like in design. The other girls in the class did not seem to react to this, and yet my mind did not question this. By now all I could think about was what she was wearing underneath it. The desire to look up Miss Monroe's dress was so strong, I had to fight to keep control over myself. Sadly, she had remained seated throughout the entire time. Normally she paces from one end of the class to the other, and occasionally she would bend down low to write something at the bottom end of the blackboard. I was bored to tears almost by the time it was home time. The home bell rang and all of the girls had packed their things and were leaving the class. I, being the perfect gentleman that I was, I let them all go before me. I was about to go myself when suddenly Miss Monroe called out to me. "Oh, Marvin." "Yes, Miss Monroe." I nervously replied to her. "Could you actually stay behind and help me out with taking these books back to the library for me?" I looked down at her desk and there was 20 big, thick and heavy study books stacked in a pile. I breathed a sigh of relief. So far Miss Monroe had not asked me if she could see my essay book. "Sure, Miss Monroe, I would only be too happy to help you take those books back to the library for you." "Why, thank you. That is very kind of you, dear." I could hardly believe my ears. Did she actually call me dear? It did not matter to me now what Miss Monroe called me.